Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for a presentation that we're very excited to share with you, Marketing on a $0 Budget. I think it's safe to say that as a nonprofit organization, we've all had budget challenges at one point or another, and when funding gets tight, many times the first thing to go or decrease is the marketing budget. However, as we have stated before, out of sight equals out of mind, so you don't want to be out of sight. If your goals are increased funding, increased awareness, or increased registration, the last thing you should cut is your marketing, which is your path to visibility. If you have very little or no marketing budget at all, but still want to get your organization out there, then this webinar is for you. Thankfully, there are many different forms of free marketing you can take advantage of. Today, we will chat about what has been highly successful for us in obtaining the marketing goals we just discussed. We hope that you step away with some newfound ideas and inspiration for your organization. Over the course of this Amp Up Your Voice series of 15-minute marketing presentations, we covered a lot of the tools different social media platforms offer to help your organization better market themselves. So we've covered the tools, but today we want to cover some of the tactics in which also using social media can help you gain some free attention for your organization. There are many different free tactics you can use alongside social media, but today some of the ones we're going to highlight are Enter to Win contests, written or video blogs, joining local Facebook community pages, maintaining high online reviews, specifically Google reviews, as well as using internet post boards such as Pinterest to your advantage. So let's go over those. Enter to Win contests. A great way to get people sharing your campaign hashtags or organization's handle on their accounts is to motivate them with a potential reward. For example, maybe you're hosting an awareness event that needs more attendance. Tell your followers that everyone who shares this event on their page is entered into a raffle for a chance to win a prize. The prize can be a free admission to the event, something inexpensive, even homemade, or perhaps a more costly item or service donated by sponsors or board members. This tactic can be used for many different scenarios where you need people to act. Whether you're trying to increase the amount of answers to a survey you distributed, or trying to get people to write into your organization about their personal experiences, holding exciting contests or dangling a prize for someone to win as incentive can and often will motivate people to do the action you need them to do. Blogs and blogs. So think about websites that you go to for information on a specific subject. Think about what motivates you to select one site over another. Does it consistently provide helpful advice? Does it have a strong user community that shares ideas and encouragement with each other? Are the contributors knowledgeable in their field? As you are drawn to certain sites for one reason or another, your target audience also has qualifiers guiding them to select the resources they turn to for information on mental health or families. Don't you want to be the organization at the top of their go-to list for any guidance regarding families? If so, then be the best guide you can be. Be the family voice in your community or state. You have tons of incredible information that you have the ability to share, so share it. Blogging or vlogging, which is just video blogging, are great free tools you can use to share this information in a meaningful way. So social media platforms are great channels for you to promote these blogs through, but with their limited word count, it is not the right platform to publish a full article or opinion that you guys create on a particular topic. So tease your created or shared blog shared blog content out on your organization's social media platforms, and then link it back to your blog, which should be hosted on a page or section of your website to drive traffic there. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pull and power of Pinterest boards. Pinterest boards can be an amazing tool for your organization. Many times you hear about Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, but don't discount the pull and power of Pinterest. Pinterest boards are a great way to post by subject area and link the blogs that live on your website. To make sure that your target audience can find the pins, add keywords to your pin that will help people find you. For instance, if you're linking to a blog article on mindfulness practice in children reduces anxiety, add keywords such as the title and your geographic area. When people in your community are searching for areas of interest in Pinterest relating to children, anxiety, and/or mindfulness, they will be more likely to see your pin and will repin your pin to their own page, connecting them to your organization. And this is a totally free option. Join and post on community pages. So we spoke in our presentation on social marketing about the importance of supporting your peers through the reciprocal strategy of liking, sharing, and tagging the pages and posts of your partners, community members, and industry influencers in hopes that they can and will do the same for you. This is a great way for everyone to support each other while expanding the reach of your posts to their followers and audience. So outside of supporting these larger groups on social media, there is another strategy you can use to your advantage, joining niche community groups on Facebook. There are lots of meetup groups and special interest groups on Facebook that you can work your way into simply by qualifying for the criteria of the group. This is where your own staff can also be helped by joining certain pages and having a voice on those pages. I think back to an example Erin shared with me where she had a client who sold products for children under the age of 10 in their store. They really needed to connect with moms in their community, so they joined mom tip groups and mom social groups on Facebook with young adult followers. They didn't join with their business account, rather, their personal accounts. So yard sale pages, a community watch page, a mom walking group page, a mom yoga in the park page, county happenings groups. Actually, all these are groups, not pages, rather. If you click on the groups in the left-hand bar of your personal Facebook page, Facebook will display a list of suggested groups to join. From here, you often have to send a friend request, or a request rather, to be invited to join. And your strategy is simple. Don't sell to them. Comment, give them other helpful tips, answer their questions. The time will come where a question will be asked where you can provide your organization as a resource, probably. Perhaps you follow a community page and someone asks what is going on this weekend, and you have an event that is open and free to the public. So post it. You are a safe, trusted, helpful member of that Facebook community now, so suggestions coming from you will be heard. This is local word of mouth 2.0. Next up, let's look at reviews, specifically Google reviews. Although there are different review websites that are pretty popular. I'm sure everyone's heard of Yelp, as well as there are reviews people can leave for you on your Facebook page as well. But we're going to specifically cover Google reviews today because most of the time people are going to be Googling you when they look you up. So these are powerful free online marketing tools, reviews. And here we take a look at Google Review. As it's the most commonly used review tool, establishing a Google account and registering your organization with Google will give you the ability to upload pictures, select where you are on a map, register your hours that you're open, connect to your provide a link to connect to your website, activate your reviews feature, and then also activate a Q&A feature too, as well as add event listings to your Google page. All you have to do is create a Google account, and you might already have one if your organization uses Gmail. Then register your organization and confirm its location on the map, and Google then sends you a postcard with a verification code in the mail to complete the process. And as we all know, word-of-mouth marketing has always been and continues to be the most effective form of marketing. Reviews are word-of-mouth marketing, and therefore an absolutely essential tool that you should be utilizing in your marketing mix. Even if you don't always receive a perfect score, a piece of input is an opportunity for you to show others how professional your organization is and how you can support even those who may have had some unfavorable feedback. Reviews of your organization and people's experience with your staff are an incredible motivator for others who are researching organizations to understand their family's needs. Activating your Google account will be huge for your organization, but now you have to let people know exist and that you need their reviews. There are so many channels you can choose to ask for a review: Facebook post, an email, a small card or flyer in the mail, or just out in your reception area of your office, signage around your building or the parking lot, just asking people to leave a review. In fact, just last week, I received an email with a subject line, "Can I ask a favor?" That was the subject line, and it said, along with a message thanking me for my ongoing support, then asking me for a 5-star review on Google Reviews and Facebook. They asked so politely and were appreciative of my support that it motivated me to want to help them out, and I left the review. So try it out yourself and watch the positive reviews roll in. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about PR, public relations. So we're going to talk about public relations through utilizing journalists and press outlets. The press can often hold the biggest metaphorical megaphone in the community. And if you can convince them to, you can have access to this giant megaphone and spread your message far and wide to a large audience. So you're going to want to court the press or have a good relationship with the press. So press relations are vital. It is important to court key members of the press and formulate relationships with them. Invite them to social gatherings, press previews, anything exclusive is great, even a coffee meet and greet with your senior staff and counselors. Think about what is newsworthy. A reporter will not be inclined to write something up just about your organization and what you guys do. However, if you are doing anything really outside the box, this is the sort of material that will really make them want to bite. Reporters like to follow stories in a series often. So consider pitching, let's say, a 4-part series where they follow a family's journey through a particular system in your state. Courting and formulating relationships with these reporters is a long-term investment, but it can pay off big to be able to add in the press section or in the news section to your website. Or you can use the press quotes or video clips from them in your printed and online marketing materials too. And also, I don't think I have it in the next slide, but they also have a lot of places will have press events where the press is the one actually putting it on, and you can pay to attend these events, or sometimes they'll often be free, and you guys can go to for the day and kind of meet different reporters from around your area. And so keep an eye out for those too around your community. Those are really good opportunities for that. So this page has a lot of information on it, but it's all really important. So I wanted to read through this slide together. So as we all know, news moves fast, and getting the press's attention can often seem intimidating and a challenge. Below, I put some tips and best practices when it comes to creating and releasing a press release, because that's going to be really your first step to getting the press at your event, and really maybe the only step. And then having that press release stand out as a potential news story to them. So these are the biggest tips I have for you. Highlight an exciting part of your event or organization, such as like, will a well-known speaker be there, or empowering speaker, or maybe it's a well-known politician that's speaking in your area, or are you giving a politician to an award, or are you giving a politician an award? Because sometimes the press will want to cover that as well. Also, make sure you give quotes beforehand to the press, and make sure that's in your media or your press advisory and release, or actually your release rather. So you want to give the quotes beforehand, and the more work you do beforehand for the reporter, the more likely they are to cover your story. And including your quotes in the release ahead of time also allows you to control the narrative of the story and the angle. So you're going to want to create and maintain a press list as well, so you can send out these emails with your press advisories to them and your press releases. So you're going to create and maintain the list, and then these days, releases are almost exclusively sent by email. So you're going to start creating a list of journalists from publications that you want to reach. Add the names, email, and phone numbers, if available, to a list you maintain. And you can often find this information through their publisher's website. So if it's a CBS reporter, you can go to their website, their local CBS, and find the reporter's information, including their email, which is probably the most important. Same with your local newspapers or anything like that. Usual best practice is to send a less detailed press advisory first with a short description of the story, the who, the what, the when, and the where. And you can literally write it out like that, who, what, when, and where, and then just kind of fill in that information for them. You're going to want to send that out 1 to 2 days before you want to run your story. Then you want to send a more detailed press release, either the day of your story, or if it's a story, or if, let's say the event or the subject of the story is happening really early in the morning that day, maybe you want to send it the evening before, or in the afternoon is usually fine too. The press release should have more info on it than the press advisory you sent out, and that should have the story more than the who, what, where, when, kind of the story put together for them, as well as quotes, if those are going to be applicable to your situation. So try to get your quotes collected beforehand from either the speakers or your organization's executive director, whoever would be quoted inside the article. Have those quotes available ahead of time for the press. They really like that, and they'll be more likely to run your story in that case. Next, let's take a look at online calendar listings, and also listings in newspapers as well on their calendar. But most of it's done online these days, as we all know. So in a lot of these publications, there's most likely a section for community classifieds or a calendar. And when I say these publications, even the bigger newspapers around your area, and especially the smaller newspapers around your area, they have a really good community section usually with a community calendar or classifieds that you can list things in. So the subsections by category, they have like yard sales, jobs, services, and especially events is probably what you'd be interested in. And if your organization has an event coming up, this is a great free marketing tool for you to take advantage of, as you're almost always able to post your events in these sections for free. And the hitch is that your event usually needs to be submitted a few weeks prior to the date, because they take a little bit longer than sending out a press release. So if the events you actually want to have sent to them ahead of time, probably like 2 weeks at the latest. There are handfuls of other resources where you can post your event for free online, such as local tourism sites, Chamber of Commerce sites, county bureaus, etc. And many of them nowadays require you to create a membership with a username and password to join. But many of these are free memberships, so that shouldn't be a problem. And this is also a job that can be delegated to someone like an intern or a volunteer within your organization. So so online calendar listings are a really good resource too, and you should never overlook those. Even though you might have it out on your Facebook, or you might have been sending out invitations over your email, it never ever hurts to put out the event, especially if it's free or whatever you're doing, you want people to pay attention to put it out in the regular newspaper as well as the online calendar events that they have on there. So my associate Aaron is going to take the presentation from here and walk you through other grassroots marketing techniques you can implement in your own local communities. Aaron?
Thank you so much, Cameron. I appreciate it. So, so far we've reviewed online opportunities and PR opportunities for $0 marketing engagement. And now we're going to switch gears a bit and talk more about grassroots community marketing opportunities that have $0 impact on your budget. Physical partnerships outside of those forged online are just as important, if not more important and impactful, as those you strike up in cyberspace. Sure, online is faster, and there's never enough hours in a day for any of us, but sitting down with key partners in your community can go so far if you cultivate that partner in a really meaningful way. Which means don't just reach out to them when you're in need. That's really important. Develop a friendship with them. Check in with them from time to time. Ask about their kids. Send them a nice handwritten note. Drop off a hot chocolate on a cold day. You get the picture. I bet if you sat down and made a list of all the organizations in your community that exist to help families, youth, children, and schools, the list would be rather impressive. Those are your people. That's what I like to call your sister organizations. They exist for basically the same reason why your organization exists, to help. It's likely that there's a decent amount of crossover between those whom you serve, but it's still a group that we want to encourage you to reach out to. So how can your sister organizations provide $0 marketing opportunity support for you? The answer is through so many ways. A few examples of top of mind. Let's say you're holding an open house and you're inviting members into your community, and you're offering your sister organizations a presence at the event to have their promotional collateral on hand and to speak or to mingle with your guests in exchange for mentions on their social media pages using your organization's handle and campaign hashtag. We encourage you to host after-work happy hours or even a Saturday retreat, someplace fun with these key players in your community. It'll give you all a chance to sit around the table and talk about your successes, your struggles, and how you can all help to boost each other up. And speaking of boosting your sister organizations up, the same goes for your community ambassadors and influencers as well. This is another great intern gig alert. Be on the lookout for key social media influencers in your community. Note who they are. Then study them. Do they have any special interests that may align with your mission? Do they share a friend on social media who might be able to introduce you? Make a short list of those who match up with your organization's mission and reach out for a face-to-face meeting. This process takes time and persistence, but your persistence will pay off if you appeal to what is meaningful to them. Take them out for lunch and for coffee and explain what you do for the community and ask them directly for their support from time to time. This very visible support is good PR for them. This group doesn't need to be recruited and mobilized just through social media. You can strike up powerful partnerships with niche audience groups within your community in person as well. Outside of individuals with strong influencer power online, think about how you can reach out to special interest groups in your community and mobilize them. One great way to do this is by folding them into your organization. Create a special committee, which is a place for them to get involved in what you do. I was actually once part of a team of marketers, and we were challenged with promoting a newly created program, which their target audience was young professionals in their mid-20s. We decided to focus on one particular subgroup, which were young singles. And we researched meetup groups of singles in our community. So basically a special interest group that already existed. And we contacted a well-known dating service, speed dating, and arranged for the meetup groups to speed date at our event that they were the target audience for. It was a wild success because it was unexpected, it was a fun evening, and they associated that good time with being at this place, attending the program and participating in something out of the box and memorable. And the word of mouth marketing for that evening was priceless. So mobilizing online influencers and niche community groups to get involved in your organization generates very organic, natural promotions of the program or cause they become naturally invested in. Let us not forget to mention your own staff. They can be mobilized to be your community ambassadors as well, through their networking, their posts, collateral distribution, and word-of-mouth promotions of your brand. Now, the example that I just provided for a public program, it was an event that people in the community could attend. Hosting an event or even having a presence at an event in your community is one of the best $0 marketing strategies that we can suggest for you, because an event is a place for people to gather. They're such creative ways to market yourself when you have a captive audience. So we're going to talk about speaking engagements. This is one example of an event in your community. Your family-run organization offers so many helpful services to families in your community. Think about how you can offer those outside of your brick-and-mortar facility. What opportunities exist or can you create to reach more families or youth? And who in your organization is a natural fit for reaching out? Also, be thinking about the areas that you or your staff members specialize in and can speak about. Speaking engagements in your community are great ways to get your organization's brand and expertise out to a wider network. So be on the lookout for free events in your community and take note who is receptive to holding speakers. I've actually booked speakers at local libraries, schools for wellness days, retail shops that align with my clients' missions, corporate wellness retreats, community festivals, and book clubs. Position yourself or key staff members open to getting out into the community and speaking as thought leaders in your field, because you are. Consider adding a section to your website that profiles the speakers in your practice and what they cover in their engagements. This behavioral health speaker right here that we show in the example does a fantastic job of marketing herself to potential clients. If you conduct a quick online survey, you can see what others who do this offer. Another speaking engagement example that's great is a school speaking engagement. It's a really great way for you to reach your target audience. And I love this picture because it's a group of kids and young adults just being a captive audience to the speaker here. So think about it. Do you have relationships with administrators in your local school district? If so, try reaching out in person and pitch this idea to them. Many schools even have funds set aside for special assemblies. So not only is this a $0 marketing tactic, but in some cases, it could be a fund generator for your organization. It gives you a chance to market your services to a captive seated audience. But you're doing what you do best. You're offering support and a lifeline to youth. Some may not even realize that they need help, but your presence alone and the delivery of information may be a lifeline to them. Another example of an event that you can host is an open house. You can become a lifeline for those in your community by just inviting people into your home, essentially. Reaching out to sponsors in your community will help make this $0 marketing for you, because if not, it would be really tricky to do this for free. You simply, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with this, you give them recognition in your free marketing channels promoting the event, and then you ask for a list of support in return. It could include a food fund. You could hire food trucks, a balloon artist, a face painter, a bounce house, door prizes that could be donated from area businesses, and all sorts of events that support your mission, such as yoga breaks, music, live music, dance contests, craft tables, and more. Here's an example by a facility who created a flyer promoting their open house, where they give the public an opportunity to meet their staff, enjoy refreshments, and tour their facility. But this is key here. Be thinking about what might interest your community. Develop activities around what they might want to participate in. Tours are great and a nice offering, but is that going to get people in the door? Think out of the box and research creative ways other organizations promote their open houses and get people in the door. So remember when we were talking earlier about aligning with sister organizations and cultivating brand ambassadors in person through meetings and happy hours and retreats? Well, this right here is an example of a $0 marketing tactic that you could be discussing as a united team with all of these people. A block party, a fundraising walk or run, or even a wellness challenge in your community can draw a countywide audience and raise funds for your organizations at the same time. It's a win-win for everyone. Planning the logistics can really be time-consuming, as there's so many details to pull together in planning a large-scale event like this, such as pulling permits, involving local police or fire, potential road closures, vendor application management, etc. But the blessing here is that you're not going to be in it alone. By partnering up with other leaders and planning, you can assign tasks to each organization to make this process much easier. and the payoff will be huge as it's high visibility for your organization. Not to mention the fact that it's something that's likely to get covered in the press, and it's going to generate big social media buzz if you create a Facebook event and your campaign goes viral. And again, approaching corporate sponsors and businesses in your community for support makes this possible financially. Now, as we are nearly out of time, or quite possibly out of time, we want to quickly share one final $0 marketing tool with you, Canva. Canva is an online graphic design program that allows you to design free flyers, postcards, printables, you name it. So how does it work? And actually, Cameron, if you want to skip to the next one and then go back, we'll talk about Canva first. Thank you. Once you have, you really want to create a graphic style guide first. So once you have a graphic style guide in place, you basically need to design flyers, printables, any kind of printed collateral for your organization. And this is how you can do it, through Canva software. It is an online design and editing software tool that is completely free. It allows you to design, like I just said, collateral, online graphics, infographics, etc. It's easy to use, and they offer step-by-step tutorials with design tips and best practices to help train you, your staff, or an intern to become a designer. All you basically have to do is create an account and begin exploring. So let's back up to one more slide. And I see that we're here, we're almost out of time. So I just want to let you know, a free graphic style guide is something that's very important for your organization as well. They really inform the design process, but they can be very expensive to develop. So something that I've done in the past is I've reached out to senior design classes at local colleges who are working on branding campaigns. And I've connected with the professors focusing on branding. And I have been able to get them to develop style guides for clients of mine. It is a truly win-win for everyone because the class gets to learn a new skill in real life, and we get the benefit of having a style guide created for us, which then we can implement through our design software. And I do believe that we've surpassed our, we're on the last slide here, our 15-minute time frame with you today. So we're going to wrap this up quickly to squeeze in an additional tip for you that you may or may not be aware of. You can create a free website through Google. So I will just say this. This is a link that you can click on and access a step-by-step guide on how to do this. And I think that's pretty much it. It's 3:30. Thank you so much for your time today. We hope that you're stepping away, having learned a few tips on how to market your organization for free. And we have a parting surprise for you all because we just could not fit it all in. All of the ideas of how to market your organization for $0. We've developed a supplemental guide outlining some additional tips for you all. This bonus guide will be sent to everybody who participated in today's presentation. And then eventually it will live on fredlud.org's resources page. Thank you all so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Anybody has questions, we'll hang on the line for another moment or so. Thank you.